How are you guys doing? Today is Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances that took place yesterday on Tuesday, November 16th. Taking a quick look at where we are, looking first at the football season, we are about at week 12 of the college football season, as the college football season is winding down to its very end, with 2 more weeks left until conference championships. Taking a look at what's going on in the NFL is about to enter its 11th week of its now 18-week season. So it's right in the middle, going towards the end. And then taking a look at where basketball is. College basketball is about a week going to 2 weeks into the season, so the season is brand new. The NBA is about a month in, to give a sense of where they are, so there's a little bit more going into their season right now. So diving right in, and of course going in, international break for soccer was over as they are about to get back to their clubs. So that's what this week is. It's all really travel. Starting first with college basketball. Looking at the 4th-ranked team in the nation, the Michigan Wolverines hosted the unranked Seton Hall Pirates. Seton Hall was able to pull off an upset, beating the top 4 team. Michigan outscored Seton Hall by 3 in the first half, and Seton Hall outscored Michigan by 5 in the second. The 4th-ranked Wolverines were led in scoring by their starting center, their sophomore out of Alexandria, Hunter Dickinson. Hunter Dickinson would finish with 18 points and 9 rebounds, as well as 2 blocks. He went on to play 31 minutes as he shot 8 for 11 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. The unranked Seton Hall Pirates were led in scoring by their starting guard, their senior out of New York, Jared Rhoden. Jared Rhoden would go on to finish with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals in 28 minutes. He shot 6 for 16 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, the unranked Seton Hall Pirates are 3-0. With this loss, the 4th-ranked Michigan Wolverines are now 2-1 to start their season. Taking a look at what's going on with the 5th-ranked team in the nation, the Villanova Wildcats hosted the unranked Howard Bison, and Villanova was able to give unranked Howard its first loss of the season, beating Howard 100-81. Winning this game by 19, they outscored Howard by 8 points in the first half, and then they outscored them by 11 in the second. The Wildcats were led in scoring by their starting forward, Brandon Slater, their senior forward out of Centerville, Virginia, and their starting guard, Colin Gillespie, their senior out of Pennsylvania, would finish with 21 points for himself, alongside 3 assists in 27 minutes. He shot 6 for 13 from the field, 5 for 12 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the 5th-ranked Villanova Wildcats are 2-1, and with this loss, the unranked Howard Bison are 3-1. Taking a look at the 6th-ranked team in the nation, the Purdue Boilermakers hosted the unranked Wright State Raiders. Purdue would end up beating Wright State 96-52 after they outscored Wright State 51-17 in the first half, of course, outscoring them by 34, and then they outscored Wright State by 10 in the second half. The Boilermakers were led in scoring by their forward off the bench, Travion Williams, their senior out of Chicago. He would go on to finish with 20 points for himself, alongside 13 rebounds and 2 steals in 32 minutes. He did this all in 20 minutes. He shot 8 for 11 from the field, and with this win, the 6th-ranked Purdue Boilermakers are 3-0. With this loss, the unranked Wright State Raiders are 1-2. Looking at the 7th-ranked team in the nation, my Duke Blue Devils hosted the unranked Gardner-Webb running Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs would end up beating Gardner-Webb 92-52, winning the game by 50 after they outscored Gardner-Webb by 20 in both halves. The Blue Devils were led in scoring by their freshman starting guard, Trevor Keels. He finished with 18 points and 7 rebounds in 26 minutes. He shot 6 for 9 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, the 7th-ranked Blue Devils are 4-0 to start their season, and unranked Gardner-Webb is 0-3 so far. Looking at the 11th ranked team in the nation, the Memphis Tigers host the unranked St. Louis Billikens. Memphis would pull off a 90-74 win after they outscored St. Louis by 15 in the first half and then they outscored them by 1 in the second half. The Tigers were led in scoring by their guard off the bench, Tyler Harris. Their senior out of Memphis, Tennessee, would go on to finish with 18 points in 19 minutes. He shot 7 for 9 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, and with this win, the 11th ranked Memphis Tigers are 3-0. With this loss, the unranked St. Louis Billikens are 3-1. Taking a look now at the 12th ranked team in the nation, the Oregon Ducks hosted the unranked BYU Cougars. BYU would end up blowing Oregon out of the water at the Phil Knight Invitational. They won this one 81-49, winning it by 32 after they outscored Oregon by 19 in the first half, more than doubling their scoring output, and they outscored Oregon by 13 in the second half. The 12th ranked Oregon Ducks were led in scoring by their starting forward, Eric Williams Jr., their senior out of Port Huron, Michigan. Eric Williams would finish with 12 points in the 28 minutes as he shot 3 for 6 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and he shot 5 for 8 from the foul line. The unranked BYU Cougars were led in scoring by their starting guard, Alex Barcelo, their senior out of Arizona. Barcelo finished with 25 points in 30 minutes. He shot 9 for 11 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. With this win, BYU is now 3-0, and with this loss, 12th ranked Oregon is now 2-1 to start their season. Now taking a look at the 13th ranked team in the nation, the Kentucky Wildcats hosted the unranked Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. Kentucky would end up beating Mount St. Mary's 80-55. They outscored Mount St. Mary's by 11 in the first half and by 14 in the second. The Wildcats were led in scoring by their starting forward, Oscar Shibuye, their junior out of Congo. He would go on to finish with 24 points and 16 rebounds as well as 3 blocks in 33 minutes. He shot 11 for 14 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, 13th ranked Kentucky is 2-1, and with this loss, Mount St. Mary's, unranked, is now 1-3 this season. Taking a look now at what's going on with the 14th ranked basketball team in the nation, the Alabama Crimson Tide hosted the unranked South Alabama Jaguars. Alabama would end up beating South Alabama 73-68, winning the game by 5 after they were trailing by 3 at halftime. The Crimson Tide were led in scoring by their starting guard Keon Ellis and their other starting guard Jaden Shackelford. Ellis would go on to finish with 18 points and 6 rebounds as well as 3 steals as he would go on to play 31 minutes. He shot 6 for 10 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the foul line. Shackelford finished with 18 points and 10 rebounds as well as 5 turnovers in 35 minutes. He shot 6 for 16 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, and with this win, the 14th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide are 3-0. With this loss, unranked South Alabama is 1-2. Taking a look now at the 15th ranked team in the nation, the Houston Cougars hosted the unranked Virginia Cavaliers. Houston would end up beating Virginia 67-47, winning this game by 20 after they outscored Virginia by 13 in the first half and 7 in the second. The 15th ranked Cougars were led in scoring by their starting guard, Marcus Sasser, their junior out of Dallas. Marcus Sasser would go on to finish with 19 points and 3 steals in 35 minutes. He went on to shoot 6 for 14 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the Houston Cougars are now 3-0, and with this loss, the unranked Virginia Cavaliers are now 1-2. Taking a look at what's going on with the 18th ranked team in the nation, the North Carolina Tar Heels went to Charleston to face off against the Cougars. And UNC was able to beat Charleston 94-83 after they were trailing by 6 in the first half. They outscored Charleston by 17 in the second half to pick up their double-digit win. The 18th ranked Heels were led in scoring by their starting forward, Armando Bacot. He would finish with 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 blocks in 36 minutes as he shot 10 for 12 from the field. And their starting guard, Caleb Love, would go on to finish with 22 points, as the sophomore from Missouri finished with 7 rebounds and 6 assists to go along with his 22 in 33 minutes. He shot 6 for 14 from the field, and he shot 10 for 12 from the foul line. With this win, the 18th ranked Tar Heels are now 3-0 to start their season, and with this loss, unranked Charleston is now 3-1, their only loss coming against a ranked opponent. Now looking at the 25th ranked team in the nation, the USC Trojans faced off against the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles in Florida. USC was able to beat Florida Gulf Coast 78-61 after they outscored the Eagles by 8 in the first half, and they outscored them by another 9 in the second. The USC Trojans were led in scoring by their starting forward, Chavez Goodwin, their senior out of Columbia, South Carolina. He would go on to finish with 20 points and 6 rebounds in 24 minutes. He shot 10 for 15 from the field. With this win, the 25th ranked USC Trojans are 3-0, and with this loss, the unranked Florida Gulf Coast Eagles are 1-2 to start their season. Now taking a look at what's going on with professional basketball from yesterday, because yesterday was Tuesday, not much going on with football. Starting off in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets hosted the Golden State Warriors as Stephen Curry faced off against his former championship teammate, Kevin Durant. The Warriors would end up beating the Nets 117-99. The Warriors went on to outscore Brooklyn by 17 points in the third quarter after outscoring them by 8 in the second. The Brooklyn Nets were led in scoring by their elite starting shooting guard, James Harden. He finished with 24 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 turnovers in 32 minutes. He shot 6 for 13 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and he went on to shoot 10 for 11 from the foul line. Their goated starting power forward, Kevin Durant, finished with 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists in 32 minutes. He shot 6 for 19 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and he shot 5 for 6 from the foul line. Their elite starting power forward, Blake Griffin, would finish with 4 points, 2 rebounds as well in 23 minutes, as he shot a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. And looking at the Warriors on the winning end of this matchup, they were led in scoring by their goated starting point guard, Stephen Curry out of Davidson. He finished with 37 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals in 29 minutes. He went on to shoot 12 for 19 from the field, 9 for 14 from 3, and he shot a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the Golden State Warriors are now 12-2. With this loss, the Brooklyn Nets are now 10-5 on the season. Jumping out to Salt Lake City, the Utah Jazz hosted the Philadelphia 76ers as the reigning number 1 seeds faced off against one another. The Jazz would end up beating the Sixers 120-85. They won this game by 35 after they outscored Philadelphia by 16 in the first half, and then they outscored them by 19 in the second half. Just to take a look at how they basically dominated them in both halves. The Philadelphia 76ers were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, Shake Milton. Milton finished with 18 points in 35 minutes as he shot 7 for 19 from the field and 4 for 5 from the foul line. The Utah Jazz were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Bojan Bogdanovic. He finished with 27 points and 6 rebounds in 27 minutes. He shot 9 for 12 from the field, 5 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Off the bench, former NBA Sixth Man of the Year, Jordan Clarkson, would finish with 20 points and 7 rebounds in 22 minutes as he shot 8 for 20 from the field. He went to go on to shoot 4 for 12 from 3 as well. The Jazz elite starting center, Rudy Gobert, would finish with 15 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 blocks in 28 minutes as he shot 6 for 10 from the field and 3 for 7 from the foul line. And their elite starting shooting guard, Donovan Mitchell, would finish with 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists in 22 minutes. He shot 5 for 12 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and he shot 2 for 3 from the foul line. With this win, the Utah Jazz are now 9-5, and with this loss, the Philadelphia 76ers are now 8-7. Last but not least, taking a look at what's going on in the Staples Center, the Los Angeles Clippers hosted the San Antonio Spurs. The Clippers would end up beating the Spurs 106-92 after they outscored the Spurs by 10 points in the second half. The San Antonio Spurs were led in scoring by their starting point guard, DeJounte Murray. He finished with 26 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, and 3 steals in 39 minutes. He shot 12 for 21 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the foul line. The Los Angeles Clippers were led in scoring by their elite starting shooting guard, Paul George. Paul George finished with 34 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals alongside 6 turnovers in 34 minutes. He shot 10 for 24 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3, and 12 of 13 from the foul line. Their starting point guard, Reggie Jackson, finished with 12 points and 6 rebounds, as well as 2 blocks in 38 minutes. He shot 8 for 22 from the field and 5 for 17 from 3. With this win, the Los Angeles Clippers are 9-5. With this loss, the San Antonio Spurs are now 4-10. That is what the NBA is looking like, and that is what all of basketball is looking like now that all of yesterday's matchups are done. And first, I want to thank the ESPN, the NCAA, and the NBA websites for giving me all the facts and figures that I needed for this episode. And once all of today's exhibitions and the matchups are done, I will come back tomorrow, of course, on Thursday, November 18th, for another episode of The Elite. And until then, I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with more tomorrow. Peace out.